Hi, buddy. We are live today, and wanted to take a moment to give a shout out um, to my guest tonight, Tanner, the bearded gooner. He has a YouTube channel, so give him some love, give him some support. He's just starting out, and um, he needs to build up his channel, and he's doing a great job right now with it. And so check him out. It's the Bearded Gooner, not DA. It's THE, Bearded Gooner. And give Tanner some love. And he's my guest tonight. Uh, so welcome in, Tanner.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, one. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. We're good.
One nice story I wanted to tell you about when I was in Disney World, and I wanted to give this guy a shout out. I had my Arsenal jersey on, and he came right up to me and said, "Hey, it's William actually from Tampa." So I wanted to give William from Tampa a shout out. His question was, and we'll get into this later, Tanner. You don't have to answer this right now. Should we fire Unai Emery? That was his first question. And before I could even tell him um, what my YouTube channel was, he found it and subscribed before I could even explain to him. So the top guy, William from Tampa, you know who you are. Hopefully you're watching tonight, and we will answer that question a little bit later. William from Tampa. So that being said, Tanner, I wanted to get into a few statistics about where we are right now after 12 games of the season, and then of course we will get into the managerial merry-go-round that has just started last night. So um, before we start, I want to say hello to Noe Donis. Noe is always here religiously in the evenings. Thanks for coming in, Noe. We're going to get into the manager situation, the coach situation, but first of all, Tanner, I wanted to give you some statistics here from our 12 games. Everyone knows we have 17 points. We've drawn too many games. So over 12 games, we've got 17 points. That's 1.41 points per game. And Tanner, do you know what that extrapolates out to over 38 games?
Oh, yeah, I'm not that quick with math.
So I've done the math for you. 54 points. If we continue at the pace after 12 games that we're doing now, we're going to end up with 54 points. I've got another question for you, Tanner. Who finished? Where would 58 points? Where would give 54 points get you last season? What place?
15th, 14th, 15th.
54 points would be what Everton did last season in 8th place.
And 8th. Okay.
And 8th is outside of a Europa League spot even.
Wow.
Yeah. We all know that our goal difference now is -1. We've never been in this kind of a situation in the last number of years. Our worst start in, I think, 37 years, Tanner.
Yeah, it's about what I've heard.
Yeah. Now, we have 17 points. And in order to get into the Champions League spots, we need to gather 54 more points over 26 games.
I'm curious as to what the math on that is. What does that break down to?
Yeah, we need to gather just over 2 points per game, which means if you play 5 games, you need to be getting 10 points from 5 games.
Yeah, good way to look at it.
So we need to take it in blocks of 5, and we need to pick up 10 points every 5 games. And that means we're going to have to win some games.
Oh, yeah. But that's the name of the game, is to win.
To win some games. So, and here's another striking mathematical piece that I've just figured out, Tanner. We can only afford to drop 24 points over the whole of the rest of the season if we were to make that magical 71 plus points. We can only drop 24 more points. That's 12 draws or 8 defeats over 26 games.
So we still have to go to Manchester City, to Chelsea, to Spurs, Chelsea at home, Liverpool at home, Manchester City at home,
Yeah.
Leicester at home. They still have to go to Wolves, still have to go to Everton, two places last year where we were played off the pitch. At the current rate, current form doesn't look good.
It's daunting. So what we have to do is at a click of 1.41 points per game, which is what we garnered over these 12 games, we need to up that to over 2 points a game. And that's going to be some going. So what we're going to need to do, and I put a Twitter poll out on this, we're going to have to win away from home versus a top 6 team, which I've just seen you go through, do the math there. So we play away to Chelsea, we play away to Tottenham, and we play away to Manchester City. And I asked the question, what was the most likely game, easiest game we could win there, and easy being a relative term. And the Twitter poll came back away to Tottenham. Now, our goals for is 10th best in the league at 16. We have 16 goals. We have 17 goals against, and that's the 12th best. So we are a mid-table team right now. We're playing like a mid-table team. And it's striking over the last few years. We are underperforming at a horrifying rate. And, I'm a little bit upset here because our window is rapidly diminishing, Tanner. And our window is to either improve with the coach that we have right now or to look for another coach pretty soon, or else we can kiss top 4, certainly, kiss that goodbye.
I'll be honest. I think top 4 I think that's done. I got to be honest. I mean, 8 points back of City. You have to ask, where do you make up those 8 points? Where are they going to drop enough points? And it can be done. It's not that daunting a task, but we also have to leapfrog Sheffield United. We're a point behind them in 6th place. So when you look at the fixture list, you've got to find, where are we going to pick up points on City? Where will they drop versus where will we gain?
Yeah.
And right now, given our current form, I don't know that I have zero confidence going into Southampton on Saturday. I just don't think we're going to win. And we might draw. I don't think we're going to win.
So we pretty much wasted these 12 games. We've got 17 points from 12 games.
This is as Saturday against Southampton, next Sunday then against Norwich are two. They are as much must-win games as I can remember.
The stakes have definitely been raised, and 54 is the magic number because we need 54 more points to get close to 71 points. And if we continue at the rate that we're going right now, as I've just mentioned in the intro, if we continue at a click of 1.4 points a game, we're going to end up on 54 points. But we actually need another 54 points.
Wow. Wow.
So over 26 games that are remaining in the league, we need to get 54 points. All being the same as last season.
I don't see where we're going to get 54 points from. Try to be positive, try to find silver linings, and boy, oh boy, the sky really, I don't know. I see a lot of people happy that the international break came. It's like, yep, get a break from Arsenal. I can kind of hit the reset button. I got to tell you, I've stewed on this for 2 weeks. It's a bit of that's a personal problem. I recognize that, but I've really thought about this for 2 weeks, and man, it could be so much worse than missing out on European football. When you think about the players that we could potentially lose Lucas Torreira is, I mean, the rumors are out there. He's sick of this. He wants out. I'm going to segue real quick into, there was a rumor that this was that what Unai Emery has done with Lucas Torreira was Torreira's choice. This is what he wanted. And now the rumors already wants out because he's being used. He doesn't feel like he's being used properly. And the board has to look at this stuff and say, look, we could lose Lucas Torreira. I think everybody has their opinion on Granit Xhaka, whether he should go in the January window or not. If we can get a decent return for him, sell him.
Another name as well is Aubameyang.
Well, and I was just going to get into them as well. I don't think Aubameyang or Lacazette leave in January, not unless something crazy comes in. I just don't see it happening. But in the summertime, I don't blame them for not re-signing or signing a new contract here, a new long-term contract. Why would they? And kudos to them to say, look, playing Champions League football is more important to me than the money, because I have to think we're offering top dollar. Maybe not perhaps what they could make at some of the bigger European clubs, but it's probably not Mesut Ozil money. But I still don't think they would be, they're not going to be paid like bums either.
Yeah, and we're in a critical, however amount of weeks we want to stagnate and wait on this. Things have to change, whether it be on the pitch itself or, dare I say it, the coach.
Yeah.
For these players to think differently about it, so let's if we're talking about garnering 10 points, which we have to do that on every 5 games. Here's the next 5 games. Southampton, as you mentioned, at home on Saturday. Norwich away from home. I believe you're going to be at the Brighton home game.
I'll be in. Yes, sir.
You're looking to hit a certain level of followers on Twitter.
Yes.
You want to give a shout out on that?
The goal is 1,000 followers on Twitter by the time I land. And if I can hit 1,000 followers by the time I land in London, I won't say that it's a guarantee, but Kevin Campbell has said that he will keep an eye on things and may potentially grant me an in-person interview while I am over there. So the goal is 1,000 by the time I touch down in London on December 5th.
Amazing. Super Kev, he's been a great ambassador for the club, and he does treat YouTubers and fans in general with a great deal of respect. I've got nothing but good things to say about Kevin.
I shook his hand once, and that was it. Said, Super Kev, how you doing? I'm Tanner. Nice to meet you. And that was pretty much it. He was moving, and I was ecstatic that he took that kind of time. So
Tanner, I do have plans. I do have a dream for our 1-year anniversary. I've been trying to get in contact with Kevin. I'm going to try and do that for mid-December. On our anniversary of the channel is the 23rd of December. Okay. I looked at the fixture list, and it's when we play Everton. And I thought that would be a really, really cool time if Kevin would acquiesce to come on the channel and talk to us. So, Kevin, if you're watching out there, and I'm going to post this link on Twitter for Super Kevin Campbell, I'm throwing down the gauntlet. Please come on our channel for our anniversary, 1-year anniversary. It would be something really, really fun to have you on for the Everton game. As you know, Tanner, Kevin also played for Everton.
Oh, yeah.
So, hey, I'm pulling out all the strings for anyone out there to help me do that, fulfill that dream. That'd be a real coup for the channel. So you're going to be at the Brighton game. I understand that's a Thursday evening.
Yeah. It was originally
silly o'clock hours.
It was originally scheduled for Wednesday, and I was like, man, that kind of stinks because I'm leaving that day. And on the one hand, I'm like, maybe I sit in the airport, get my iPad out, because I was kind of thinking it would be on the NBC Sports Gold, which is what we have over here in the States to watch games. So I'm thinking, at least I'll have something to watch in the airport while I'm traveling. Then I saw that the the league, be it Sky, be it BT Sport, whoever it is, over in the UK, they decided to move it for television purposes to
Powers that
Thursday night.
be.
Yeah, the powers that be, and they moved it to Thursday, and
Ah.
Yahtzee, baby.
Well,
So
for once, the TV powers have worked in your favor. Usually,
yeah,
they do not work in the favor of the supporters.
yeah,
You
this
know.
worked. This worked for me. So
Okay, so that's going to be Brighton at home. Hopefully we have 3 wins on the bounce there.
yeah,
Then in the group of 5, where we need to pick up at least 10 points, we go West Ham away from home and Manchester City at home. And that's the 6-pointer of Manchester City.
yeah. There you go. I got to think. If we beat Southampton, Norwich, and Brighton, three on the bounce, as you say, you got to think the confidence is going to be building.
Yep.
Could go to West Ham on a Monday night and get a result there.
Tough place.
It's a tough play. Oh, absolutely.
We're playing.
I was thinking about going to it, trying to land an away ticket, and I looked at the money that people are asking for and said, nope, I'll go to the 12 pins and watch that match.
Yeah.
But the City one is going to be massive, because I have no idea what Chelsea, City, and Leicester's next 5 schedules are. I know that Chelsea and City, I believe, play each other. I think that's Sunday. So
yeah.
I think
are you looking at that stuff, Tanner, or should we worry about ourselves?
I mean,
is it too early
for us at this point? No, I think you have to start watching. We've got to start scoreboard watching. We have to, and we have to start looking at the fixture list down the road and seeing what everyone else is doing, or who everyone else is playing. It's sad to say, but that's where we are right now. If our hopes are still to accomplish, which clearly they are, we still want top 4. We have to now, as supporters. As supporters, we have that luxury. We can do that. The players, the coaching staff. Those guys, though, you look at what's right in front of you. You start looking down the road. You start looking at this as a giant project. What you said, 54 points from our last 26 matches. That's just too daunting a task. You look at the match right in front of you and say, we need 3 points this Saturday. End of discussion. There's no thought of Norwich right now. There's no thought of Eintracht Frankfurt on Thursday in the Europa League. It is all of the focus is Sheffield United right now. As supporters, absolutely. We scoreboard watch, we fixture list watch, we pay attention to what the teams around us, the teams we're trying to catch, we pay attention to what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, we're maybe talking a little bit pie in the sky right now. This team is going to uplift with 3 wins. Confidence for all Gooners is low for that to happen. But Unai Emery's got to fix up, or he's going to move on.
My question on the board is that what is rock bottom? I've been saying this I think I've been asking this question on your show since I started. What is rock bottom? Why are we waiting to hit rock bottom? And rock bottom is at that point now top 4 is unattainable, and we throw all of our eggs into the Europa League basket. And the way that we've played the last 2 or 3 matches of the Europa League, we've not looked good. Yeah, it's been
dour.
Yeah, that's a great word, dour.
I have been away for those 2 weeks, and it's been pretty unacceptable as an Arsenal supporter. Yeah. Let me put this question to you, and we're going to move into the coach question and all that stuff and the coaching merry-go-round. Do you think it's possible that we already have identified a coaching target that we're waiting on?
I mean,
just haven't pulled the trigger yet.
Who would the target be? Because I have to think, because this is this is the last international break now until March, I believe.
Yeah.
And if we're waiting, what are we waiting for? If the target that we've identified is waiting, what are they waiting for, and why are we then in turn waiting for them?
Right. I have an answer.
Go for it.
I did some research, and this is a coach that I think we need. We need a coach that has authority the players will look up to. It's an experienced coach. Let me give you some clues and see if you can guess who it is. It's an experienced coach, won many, many things. Um, he's a disciplinarian to a certain extent, and the players will take notice of him.
Oh boy.
He's worked in England. He's worked on the continent.
Excuse me 1 minute.
Let's. No, are you still there? Can you guess?
Oh boy. I need all these worked. Give me his nationality. That's a little too.
He's Spanish.
I was gonna say I got a name in my head. Xabi Alonso?
No.
No.
And interestingly, the reason why I asked this question is he's working in the Chinese league right now, and
Rafa.
that league ends in 3 games from now, December 5th.
Rafa Benitez.
Rafa.
Keep hearing that. It's becoming a popular name. I just wonder if we're not in the same boat with Benitez as we would have been. Well, how do I say this? One of the things that the side of the fan base that didn't want Mourinho didn't want him because of the abuse directed towards our club, directed towards Wenger.
Even all of that aside, and I'm one of those people, even all of that aside, he's just not the right fit for Arsenal.
And I wonder if these old school coaches, if the game hasn't passed them by. That's the only thing I fear with Rafa Benitez is he's an old school guy. You just said every characteristic about him. Is that the game now? Are these coaches the game passed them by? Because
he would definitely fix up the fence a little bit.
That he would. We keep saying that. We keep saying that we thought Emery was going to fix up the defense. And my question to that would be, do we have the right players in defense to the point where it can actually be fixed? And I'm telling you,
these are professional footballers, Tanner.
I know.
They can be coached.
I get that. I absolutely get that. I just wonder if coaching is one thing, decision making is another. And we have a couple of guys who make very, very, very poor decisions.
Yeah.
Ability, coaching, all of that aside.
Absolutely agree with you.
Decision making is one of the biggest problems that the players have. I'm not going to lay that at the feet of Unai Emery. He's not the guy out there playing, running around and kicking a ball. The players are the ones on the pitch doing the work. They're the ones that need to be making the decisions.
Yeah, but do you feel Emery's not getting the point across in his coaching?
100%. 100%. They have no
feel anyone else would do a better job in that respect.
I think
anyone else.
Yeah, I think an alligator would do a better job. I think my back crap insane 11-month-old puppy Evie would do a better job of getting a point across right now.
So Rafa Benitez is working in China right now with Dalian Yifang, and we know that name because of Carrasco.
Mm-hmm.
We were linked with him in the last January, and the season ends in 3 weeks. So I'm kind of formulating a sneaky opinion that Emery has probably the next month. They're going to give him the next month. Knowing we're going to pick up some wins. We have to pick up some wins.
The law about it state that we're going to turn this around somewhere. I think we're a better team than what we're showing. However, I have gone on a few rants about the points that we've dropped so far this season, and where if had we picked up all of those points, where we would be. And that might have been a bit overachieving.
We would have reclaimed 8 points.
Yeah,
I've been right there in the conversation.
I think we're the third or fourth best team in the league. I really do. With just looking at sheer talent, just the sheer talent, I think we're the third or fourth best team in the league. That being said, I'll give you a comparison. I think Everton's a pretty talented team, and they just can't seem to put it together to save their lives. Yeah. They just can't seem to crack top 6 to save their lives.
Funnily enough, we mentioned Everton earlier, and they finished in 8th spot last season. Are we in Everton this season?
God, I hope not.
Let's move on to the elephant in the room. Last night's appointment, yesterday's appointment. Jose, does that make Tottenham a better team than us right now? He's going to have a bounce.
Yeah,
they're going to have a bounce.
Yeah, I said earlier today, I think out of their next 6 matches, I expect them to get at least 13 out of 18 points out of their next 6 matches. At least 13. I think my prediction was on 15. So, yeah, they're definitely going to get a bounce. Are they a better team than us right now? Yeah, I think you have to say they are. Talent-wise, I think we're relatively on par with Tottenham in terms of talent, and I'm taking Mourinho.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm taking Mourinho over Emery in terms of coaching. I mean, that's a no-brainer. I don't care what you think of them. If you poll anybody at this point, any football fan,
98%,
and the other 2% are out to lunch. The other 2% have probably never heard of Jose Mourinho. So, he's a better coach. Period. They're going to get a bounce, and that team's going to finish in a European. They're going to finish in a European spot. They'll finish top 6. Might be top 4, but I think Spurs with Mourinho, I think they finish top 6.
Unless some things happen at Arsenal, unless some things happen at Man United. Where do you think Pochettino ends up?
Arsenal? No.
I'm not really. Well, why are we talking about 2 or 3 coaches here, and why are we restricted to 2 or 3 coaches? Mourinho, Allegri, Poch.
Why are we?
There's other coaches in the world that we could get.
Oh, Marco Rose. I keep hearing Julian Nagelsmann. If you're watching this show, and I understand you might want Julian Nagelsmann, I'm here to tell you right now, he's not leaving Leipzig. I mean, unless we came in and offered him the whole of England as compensation, he's not leaving Leipzig. He's a guy that I think, just from what I've read about him, he wants to build something, and he wants to be there for a while. He has a very clear goal in mind. I'd love to have him. Would absolutely love to have him.
Arsenal could not tempt him.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think anybody honestly could tempt him out of Leipzig right now, short of offering him 25 million pounds, euros a year to come in and coach. It would have to just be something utterly extravagant that has never been done before.
Where are they in the league?
Leipzig?
Yeah.
Second, I think.
Second. And Mönchengladbach's leading.
Yeah.
They have a good coach.
Well. Yeah. That's Marco Rose, I think. And Marco Rose. Two brilliant coaches there. Eric Ten Hag is at Ajax, although he's earmarked for Bayern, and that's where he's going to go at the end of this season. He's not going there now, so Bayern pretty much has to appoint a caretaker manager until the end of the season. I don't know. I think what you get is names that everybody knows. When you look at Twitter, be it Facebook, be it whatever social media platform, obviously here on YouTube, I think we mention the names that we know, and we mention the names that we know that have been successful. Yeah. That's why you don't hear the names, like you don't really hear the Eddie Howe name, and I'm not advocating Eddie Howe. I'm not advocating anyone, but you don't really see Michael Arteta get a whole lot of love. You don't see Freddie get any love. You don't see Patrick Vieira get any love, really. And I'm not saying that these guys deserve it based on past experiences. I think people we as supporters mention names that we know and that we know have been successful. And that's why Mourinho's name came up.
Vieira is having a tough time in Nice right now. Yeah. I think 13th in Ligue 1.
Is that what they are?
Another thing that Benitez interests me is the head-to-head with Mourinho is quite favorable. If we're looking at Mourinho now as a benchmark for coaching in North London, we do need a coach that's going to stack up against Mourinho. Tactically speaking. And they've met 16 times. They've drawn 4. Mourinho has the slight edge of 7 versus 5 wins. But that's a rivalry that has been going on over the years. Mourinho and Benitez. Champions League, especially with Liverpool and Chelsea.
Yeah.
I'm just sneakily thinking that's something interesting to look at. And of course, Benitez would take a coach under his wing, a Freddie or an Arteta.
Yeah.
Would be amenable to that.
I don't think Arteta would be amenable to having. Arteta's ready to be a manager. I don't. To bring in Arteta as an assistant, as a top assistant. First of all, I think you step on Freddie's toes a little bit with that. But I don't. I think he feels pretty confident in his abilities, having studied under Pep. So, but this is just my personal opinion. But I'm coming around to the idea of Arteta taking over. Younger guy, played at Arsenal, good communicator, studied under Pep. Not that Pep is the end-all, be-all. A lot of people think he is.
Maybe Pep is coming to London.
Everybody keeps saying he's growing sick of Manchester City, but he's not going to get the budget. He's not going to be able to buy his championships if he comes here.
True.
That's the other thing to keep in mind with Pep. Everywhere he's been, they've spent money for him. So how much of it is you're just buying world-class talent? How much of it is him actually coaching? When you
did Pep miss the window with City in terms of Champions League? That's gone now.
Yeah,
I can't really see City winning the Champions League.
I don't see
under
City.
Pep.
No. I don't know who I see winning Champions League this year. Boy, it is. I'll tell you what, it is wide open. It is wide open.
Yeah.
One thing, while we're on the Champions League thing, one thing I want to say, I'm probably going to lose followers for saying this, and you may hate me for saying it too. But with the Pochettino thing, I'll tell you right now, I am not of the mind that I don't care if Pochettino. I don't care who he managed before, and and everybody looks at it. Well, what has he won? What has he won? He got them to a Champions League final, and then I debate people
There's
who are
a lot of luck involved.
Well, and that may the Ajax the semifinal against Ajax, that was incredibly lucky, But he has coached up that team. He has coached up that club, and this has been their most successful 5-year spell in half a century. You're still
not impressing me.
I don't think that. Well, but I understand that trophies are the end all be all, but at the end of the day, who's a better coach, Mauricio Pochettino or Unai Emery?
Yes, Pochettino's better, but there's better coaches out there.
I'm not saying there aren't. I won't say there aren't better coaches out there, but Pochettino worked in a system with no financial backing. Ironically enough,
two windows.
Now all of a sudden, but now all of a sudden,
windows, no players.
Yeah, now all of a sudden, Jose Mourinho's gonna get $150 million pound war chest laid at his feet every transfer window from Daniel Levy. Sure, okay, I'll believe that when I see it.
Remains to be seen. I agree with you.
Yeah, but Pochettino, with what I look at the overall body of work to say that, well, he never won a trophy. The New England Patriots have been good. I hate to bring up comparisons. I know it's a totally different setup. The New England Patriots have been.
I don't like the Patriots.
Dominant for 19 years. 19 years in a row. They secured a 19th straight winning season, but they've only won 6 Super Bowls. That means 13 years they didn't win a trophy. Anybody going to tell me that Bill Belichick isn't the best head coach they've ever seen?
No.
Not a chance.
Because you have to be – there's 32 teams in there.
Now, and again, I know the trophies are the end-all, be-all. but Spurs were a good team. They weren't a great team, but they were a good team. And I think the overall job that he did with them, I'd have a conversation. If I were Allison Leahy, anybody in a position of decision making, I'd have a conversation. And if people don't want him here simply because he managed them,
no, I mean we took Sol Campbell.
yeah, if at the end of the day, I don't care who manages, just win. That's period. I don't care.
We have to look at it from a point of view, Tanner. Will the players listen to this guy
Well,
if he comes in?
That being said,
that's the kind of coach I'm looking at.
I read an article on The Athletic last night about the beginning through the end of the downfall of Pochettino. And I got to tell you, I don't think he works out here because I don't see him doing anything. The only thing he does different than Unai Emery is make them practice twice a day. Right. A lot of the players had lost faith in him. One of the things the article said was after the Champions League final loss, he went to Barcelona and sat in his house in Barcelona and moped and sulked and throw me a pity party. Oh, woe is me. I don't know that, but the article was written.
Well, they had to be feeling similar to what we were feeling.
Sure.
After the Europa League final.
Sure.
You get that far, you want to win it.
Oh, of course you do. Again, if you want to win every game, and obviously that's a pretty far-fetched idea in this day and age. Obviously, we pulled it off in 2004, and
yes,
it is a far-fetched. It's a bit of a far-fetched idea to think you're going to win every single. We didn't win every single game in that season.
No, we drew a lot of those games.
Exactly,
12 of those games.
We just didn't lose. So,
yeah.
But I would have a conversation right now with just about anyone that I thought could help this team, and I think Poch is a better coach. Poch is a better coach. See what I did there?
Poch.
Yeah, Poch
is a better coach. Poch is a better coach.
I was just going to say Poch is a better coach. Now I really sound like I'm from Pittsburgh.
Koch. All right, what's your short list, Tanner? The bearded gooner, BG.
Boy. Short list?
Yeah, give me 5 or 6.
Oh, 5 or 6.
Yeah, I mean this is what the club probably has already done at this point.
I would say 5 or 6 in no particular order, but I will say I have a top 2, and I'll save the top 2 for last.
Yes.
Rafa Benitez, I think, is definitely getting a look, especially considering that season ends in 3 weeks, as you said, which I didn't know that. So that's a good.
I didn't know until this evening. I did some research.
Okay.
I was like, I think Benitez could be the man.
Okay.
And what's he doing now? He's in the Chinese league. When's it ending? 3 games from now.
Okay.
It's almost perfect for what the timeline that they've given Emery to get himself out of trouble.
Benitez for sure. Allegri, we know Allegri's on that list.
He's living in London, right?
Allegri?
From what I hear.
I didn't hear that. Not saying it's not true. I didn't hear one way or the other.
Yeah, I could be wrong.
Benitez,
Allegri. You got Poch in there.
You want 5 or 6? I'd put him on the list. I really would. I'd put him on the list just to have a conversation.
Are we Arteta, are we risking losing him if we don't
think so?
Take him this time around?
Right now, he's my number 1. My number 2 is Freddie.
Okay.
I understand that Freddie may not be ready. I just can't get out of this Brighton thing, man. I'm on a roll tonight.
Freddie, are you ready?
Yeah, ready, Freddie. But I think the players will play for him. I really think the players will play for him. There's something to that. There's something about there's something about a motivator, and Freddie may not have the tactical nuance to be a top man yet, but I think he's got the motivational factor. I think he could get these guys willing to run through a brick wall for him. So I would absolutely be head over heels to see Michael Arteta come in with Freddie as his number 1.
Yeah, I was just going to say, would that work, a dream team in that respect? And I was just going to stack you one up against the other, ask you to stack one against the other, pros and cons.
The biggest pro is Arteta's experience with Pep. He's been there. He's been in it longer than what Freddie has been. This is Freddie's really. Yeah. This is really his first exposure as a coach with the first team, because last year he was with the U23s. So this is his first experience with the senior team as a top coach. I would give the edge to Arteta just based on experience. But cons, con with I just gave you the con with Freddie. Not sure.
Inexperience on both sides.
Well, it would
not
be
having the reins.
Yep. That's really about it. I think those have to be, if you're the Arsenal fan that wants to see a coach that's going to be here, quote unquote, long term, whatever that might mean, if that's 7 to 10 years, you're never going to see a Sir Alex Ferguson. You're never going to see an Arsene Wenger.
No.
You're never going to see that again.
We talked about this just before we came on, and you sort of, I've realized that just from you telling me, we're not going to see that again. We're not going to see a 22-year dynasty, whatever it was, with Wenger, Alex Ferguson. You could go on.
Yeah, especially in a club with the ambition, with the perceived ambition of Arsenal. When you look at the top 6 clubs, we are the clubs that are going to perpetually go through managers until we find one that clicks. But every coach, every manager has a shelf life. Wenger hit his. I think Wenger hit his before he was moved
out. 6 or 7 years. The FA Cup's notwithstanding.
5 at least, yeah. The FA Cup, exactly. And not to continue to bring up the scum from the bad side of North London, but I think Poch hit. I think he hit his shelf life with that team as well. And look, and we all know what Mourinho has done in his tenure in the Premier League with Chelsea, with Man United. They all have a shelf life. Eventually, the message stops getting through. Maybe you get in a coach who preaches the same message. You just hear it from a different voice. It's presented in a different way, and it makes sense in a different way. And that's what happens. But my top 2, Arteta, Ljungberg, these are 2 guys that I think would be willing to sign on for the long term and could build something. And I think you need let's look at the successful coaches right now. Again, Julian Nagelsmann with Leipzig. He's in his 30s, for crying out loud. Unfortunately, his playing career, he retired when he was 19 because of knee problems. And he's been in coaching ever since. And this guy is going to be one of the top managers in the world in short order. Ten Hag, again, in Ajax, a guy that's in his early 40s, I believe. So I think the game is starting to turn towards those younger, innovative, motivational type managers who, just kind of like, hey, boys, go out there and play. Let it loose.
And remember Arteta in his playing days, he had a bit of a nasty streak about him. I think he would be able to hold the dressing room.
Oh, yeah. I don't have – the one thing with those 2 guys that I don't have any fears of is the dressing room. They're going to command the dressing room. And here's the thing, especially Ljungberg, because of the clout that he brings with who he is. Those guys are going to look at him like, okay, man, you've done it. You know what you're doing. That's what we're striving to be. We're following you into battle. Let's go. Arteta, to a degree, kind of the same thing. Obviously, doesn't have the.
And Arteta played with Ozil.
Yeah.
For a few years.
Yep, I've played for 2 years. I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
2 years.
What do you think? We touched a little bit on Mourinho. That was all agreed. Probably a couple of weeks back. Tottenham knew what they were going to do because Poch is fired, Mourinho's in the next day.
I think those things I don't think really tend to take too long to work out. I think you get 2 parties who are agreeable to the union In other, Mourinho
Really?
went Spurs went Mourinho. If you're Daniel Levy, I think what he
Well,
wants.
contracts have to be sorted.
Sure.
Backroom staff has to be sorted. So
Yeah.
I think for me, the timing of it is a little suspicious. You've got one happening. It's like clockwork.
Oh, I think it was agreed. I think it was agreed before they axed Pochettino.
Yeah.
I fully believe that. Yep, they had the agreement with Mourinho in place.
Do you think Pochettino, as I said earlier, ends up at Man United? Ole's got to be a little bit uneasy right now.
This year? No.
Yeah.
I don't.
Before the end of the year.
No. I mean it. I think he takes the year off. I think he lets the year play out. He doesn't jump. I could be way wrong. He's what, 47, I think? He's not 50 yet. So
No.
he's in his mid to late 40s.
There's a lot of teams in the continent as well that would look at him.
Bayern. I mean, the two obvious choices are going to be Bayern and Man United. So it's a grind for those guys. It really is. And if I were Pochettino, knowing what I think I know goes into that job, I would probably take the rest of the year off and look to start something again in the summertime. That said, if Manchester United, which is the club that he's been linked with ad nauseum for the past year now, if it opens up, could be a hard gig to say no to.
Would Arsenal be seen as copycatting what Tottenham are doing if they make a move in the next week?
I mean, probably.
Typically, we're not that kind of club that's going to do that.
Probably.
Panic and see what Tottenham have done. Let's do something ourselves.
That's the other thing that worries me is does the board, now seeing what Spurs did, does the board say, well, you know what, we're not going to follow suit now because we don't want to be seen as, Tottenham's little brother's got to do the same thing they do. That worries me a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I
mean, if we get a negative result against Southampton at home for the weekend, the team that's bottom of the league, that's not going to be good for Emery. Obviously,
it's not going to be good for anyone.
If we don't get 3 points, he should be fired.
And I'll be honest. I think we need 3 points and an absolute thrashing.
Yes,
Hampton, because remember, this all started
by at least 2 goals.
At least,
and that's not a thrashing.
That's not. I mean, I'm talking 4 or 5-0.
Yeah,
we need a clean sheet. We need 4 goals. It has to be an absolute drubbing. I was at the Southampton match at home last year, and I think the final score was 2-1.
Yeah.
Just everything after that 22-game unbeaten streak last year was not good, and it's carried over to this year. And the Emery out movement really started with bad performances. Even though we're winning and drawing matches, it's bad performances. We're constantly relying on Aubameyang to bail us out with a free kick like he did against Aston Villa. That never should happen. And
we dropped silly points.
Oh,
like to go back to where I started. 17 points from 12 games.
Yep.
We need to fix up, and we need to pick up some wins. So we're not going to expect to get wins from.
Oh, absolutely. We have to go on the road. We're going to have to win on the road. We're going to have to win against the top 6 and probably win against the top 6 on the road.
Yeah.
So they have to go into City and win. They have to go into Chelsea and win. We've already, consider it right now. We've already lost, or we drew at Manchester United. We lost at Liverpool and we lost at Leicester. So 3 of the, we're top 6 right now. We still have to go to Chelsea. We still have to go to Manchester City.
And Leicester is an example of a team with similar ability to us, but being coached in the right way.
Yep. They've got a guy in there who has a very clear plan, very clear tactics. He knows what he wants to do, and is here, boys, go do it. And
Yeah, put the players, and you know what? He's played Ndidi where he needs to play.
Yep, it doesn't. I say this all the time, man.
Not rocket science, right, Tanner?
It doesn't have to be this difficult. It really doesn't have to be this difficult. And
if I'm Unai Emery, I'm like changing my ways.
he has to. He has to. And from everything that I've been reading about him, he's not going to do that. This is who he is. He is going to take that square peg and he is going to hammer it into the round hole, or he's going to break the peg. One of the two. It's not going to work, but he's going to force it until something breaks.
Mind-boggling.
It is. It really is.
We're surviving, as you know, through our strikers.
Yeah.
The window, just to wrap things up real quickly then, Tanner, the window's closing. We need to pick up 54 points in 26 games. Doesn't look awful right now.
No. I like what you said. I like looking at it better with we need 10 points out of 5 games.
Yes.
I think if we look at it that way, break it up, I think that's a better way to look at it. So, and boy, you've got to wonder if we get, say we win the next 3 league matches, say we win the next 4, we'll throw Eintracht Frankfurt into the mix there. So let's say we win the next 4, but we only win 1-0, 2-1, 3-2. Look, winning 3-2 on the road is not necessarily a bad thing. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Winning 3-2 at home against a newly promoted side, it's just unacceptable. But if we win these games, it's buying him time. So here's the double-edged sword. We're getting the results. We're perhaps climbing the table, but we still have the same coach. And God forbid, what if in February or March he reverts back to his old ways and we start dropping points again?
Yeah.
I think
because you always revert back to type.
Yeah, and I think at his very core, we're seeing who he is right now. I don't think Unai Emery is a bad coach, and I want to make this abundantly clear that I have no agenda against Unai Emery, the man. I don't know the man.
I would say there's no agendas, just opinions.
It is. Look, at the end of the day, we all just want the Arsenal to win, and that's why I think people struggle. There are folks who genuinely think that, you know what, we're not going to succeed long term with this coach, so we have to fail in the short term to get to where we want to be long term. I don't fault anyone for, if you want the Arsenal to lose, you're not going to get an argument from me. I can understand it. I cannot sit and watch any of my favorite teams and say lose. I just can't. But I can understand the sentiment behind it. I really can. So,
and in a certain way, Tanner, we all feel powerless.
Oh yeah,
we're sitting here talking about a situation. You and I and all of the rest of the Gooner Nation can see that we at least need to put the right players in the right positions.
Yep.
Torreira's pissed off right now.
He wants out.
He's not playing.
No.
He's tried it. He's a Uruguayan. He's going to put his neck on the line. He's got the lion's heart. He's talked about that Pashuda thing. The Uruguayan never say die spirit. Yep. He's going to do what his coach tells him, but he's tried it for 6, 7, 8 games.
Yeah.
And he's probably thinking, what the hell am I doing here?
Yep, exactly.
And I want out of here. And
can't blame him.
We all feel powerless as supporters. We all, like you said, want the same thing. We all want to win games.
Yep.
And winning games, players are happier, supporters are happier. Maybe the performances can come, and then maybe we can progress. I don't know if it's going to be with this coach. And we all, Arsenal supporters are young and old. We all have different maturity levels.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us take it better than others. I've learned to compartmentalize things and deal with defeats. It's becoming the norm. Maybe not defeats, but disappointing results.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it? What do you got to say?
Well, you're right. We all, we all support in our own way, and we all come from various
walks of life.
Walks of life backgrounds in terms of how we support. And as an American, I support very differently, I think, my teams than Europeans, than the folks in England, in Spain. I think country to country, your support is a little different. You just support a little differently. I like I said, being American and having the wide array of sports teams. I mean, there's the only sport I really don't watch is the NBA. I love college hoops. I just NBA can't do it. I watch everything else, and I'm passionate about everything else. So I have a lot of things to pull from. So my point being, we all pull from different things, from different experiences. And my experience with this club, look, I don't remember the things that a lot of folks in England, and maybe yourself included, remember, simply because I couldn't watch in the 89 game at Anfield. I had to watch a month later. That's when I saw it. Now that's what got me to be a fan.
Mm-hmm.
But the
Michael Thomas.
Yep. But somebody put a poll up the other day. Who was your favorite Arsenal player? Who's your all-time favorite Arsenal player and why? Who's your favorite, who was your first favorite player? Who is your favorite current player? And then who's your favorite player of all time? Michael Thomas, simply because he's the guy that scored the goal that won him the championship. And I just remember it. I remember it like it was yesterday. I'm watching on TV.
Let's not forget Alan Smith scored the first goal and assisted in that second goal.
Yep. And the internet, not a thing, not really a thing, especially not what it is now. So even in the Invincible season, I really couldn't. I could pay attention a little bit better. Still couldn't watch the games. So I have a bit of a different perspective in my support of Arsenal, simply because I haven't really been able to watch. And now that I can watch them, I'm like, man, why do I keep doing this to myself?
Yeah. You're a true supporter.
Yeah.
Hang in there.
I'll never question or debate anyone for the way they support. We all support in our own way. The one thing I'll say, and I've said this before, is the toxicity. If you're out there wishing ill on anyone, Unai Emery included, get out of here. I got no time for that. I don't want him in the club. I've said that before, but I don't wish the man any ill will. I want him gone from my club, but for his sake, I want him to land somewhere else and be successful.
And you know what? That's the part that we feel powerless about. The powers that be will make that decision.
Yeah.
And
I will.
We all want him. We all want to turn up on Saturday and have a completely different coach, the same person, but a completely different coach in front of us, doing things differently, coaching correctly, and putting players in the correct position.
We'll see come Saturday if the international break see if these past 2 weeks have done anything to alter his method of thinking, his method of coaching.
Do you rate, going back to Jose again, do you rate him at this point in his career as a coach?
Yeah.
Is he going to be better than Pochettino was?
To be better than Pochettino, in my opinion, that means he's got to win a trophy.
Yeah. What I'm getting at.
No.
You don't think they'll win a trophy?
I don't think he'll win a trophy this year with them. I think he gets them back into top 6. I rate him as I'm not ready to give them top 4 yet, simply because they're 11 points off the pace. They're 3 behind us, and we're 8 behind City. Mm-hmm. They've got a lot of teams to jump ahead of. Yep. That's their biggest problem. See, we're fortunate because we really have. I'm fairly confident. This is the strength. This Arsenal team is. I talk out of both sides of my mouth with them.
Hold your hair out.
On the one hand, we should finish above Sheffield United. On the other hand, given our current run of form, I have no faith that we will.
But
that being said, I rate Mourinho as a coach in his first this season and next with Spurs. I rate him. After that, the luster's going to be off. I think he's going to start to lose a bit of the dressing room. and you're going to start to see that the wheels come off of that. The wheels are going to start to come off of that vehicle.
Yeah, I think Real Madrid, the players in that dressing room are breathing a sigh of relief. Jose went to Tottenham. Are we breathing a sigh of relief as Arsenal fans?
I was always of
Can
the
you
mind.
imagine Jose at the Emirates?
Yeah. And here's the thing, man. This is the one thing that deep down inside, we as supporters, and I mean this goes, I don't care who you support in what sport, you support a team. If that team is winning, all else fades away. All these people who said, and I think you were one of them, who said you do not under any circumstances want Jose Mourinho at your club. But if I were to tell you, if I could look into a crystal ball and I could say, we will have Jose Mourinho for 2 years. We would have him for the end of this year and then 2 full seasons. So 2.5 years roughly, we'd have Jose Mourinho. And we would win in that span 3 trophies. Would you take them?
Yeah, 3 trophies, yeah.
We'd
one,
win.
maybe not.
One a year. We just won it. We'd win.
Are they going to be minor? Like a trophy is a trophy, but will they be cup?
This year would be, to me, it would be a major trophy because it's either going to be the league, the Europa League, or the FA Cup. And I would take any one of those 3. The only minor trophies that carry. If you're rating the trophies, it's funny. Ask a Liverpool fan which trophy is most important to them right now.
Yeah, the league title.
The league title. That's all they want. They don't care about. I have a good buddy of mine here in Pittsburgh, and he says, "Piss on Champions League." I've seen that movie 6 times. I don't need to see it again. I want to see it again, but if I have to pick one of the 2,
listen. When you have 6 Champions Leagues,
he'd mail it in. He'd mail it in the Champions League. Nope, I'm pouring all of my attention into winning the Premier League.
Klopp may well do that.
Yeah.
Push comes to shove in the springtime.
I'm not going to say I wouldn't blame him because I would blame him if I were a Liverpool fan. Again, I want to win all the trophies.
You would like to repeat as European champions.
Of course you would. But if I even if I said 2.5 years and you get 2 trophies, you get one. Maybe you get one this year. Maybe we win the FA Cup this year. Maybe next year we win the league. Or, who knows, depending on where we qualify. But let's say that we win 2 trophies, neither of which is the Carabao Cup, and it's not the same trophy in both years. But you get Jose Mourinho for 2.5 years, 2 trophies. I don't think there's an Arsenal supporter that would say, nope, I don't want the trophies because I don't want him. Now you're no better than the people that you're complaining about saying, I hope we lose to get Unai Emery out of here. If you win, everything else fades away. And Al Davis, I hate to keep going to American sports references, man, but it's I'm American. It's what I have. And Al Davis, the late owner of the Oakland Raiders, said it best. Just win, baby.
Yeah.
Just
win.
That's what you're in this business to do, period. Players want to win. Coaches want to win.
Unai Emery needs to win pretty soon.
He's got to win Saturday.
Saturday, if he doesn't win, he's seriously on thin ice.
Yeah, I think so. From everything now, it's funny because the club came out with the, here again, quote unquote, vote of confidence. We're behind him. But now you're starting to see rumors that he's got a month. He's got till Christmas. Either way, I think he's on thin ice. And I think if the results follow suit of what they've been, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a coaching change either, if not before I get to London, while I'm there. And again, I'll be there for 2 weeks. So
yeah, how are you able to swing that 2 weeks in London? That's amazing.
Very fortunate. Very, very, very fortunate. My fiance is a nurse. She works 3 overnight shifts a week. Her schedule basically allows her to schedule herself a certain way where she can get 8 days off in a row and not lose any vacation time. Outside of bartending part-time, I am also the content editor for a hockey website, and I work from home.
Awesome.
So we also, on the side, we also have a skydiving business through her dad. We help out with that as well.
Hey, Stan the Man, thanks for coming in.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey Stan, we were just talking, and we're not going to stay too much longer. But since you're here, we'll talk a little bit further. Um, our math tells us to get top four, we need 26. We need 54 points from 26 games. That's a tall order. Um, and Unai Emery is on thin ice in the next couple of weeks. Um, it's my belief, Tanner, that the club has lined up a couple of alternative coaches. What do you think?
Yeah, I have to. You have to think at this point there's some due diligence going on with potential replacements. Obviously, you don't want to get caught flat-footed. So, obviously, if the wheels really do come off the club, with this season, the board can't be, the board can't get stuck with their feet in the mud.
Yeah, and Stan, to we did a little math earlier. We need 2 points a game, which if you take a block of 5 games, we need to get 10 points from 5 games. We dodged the bullet with Mourinho. I tend to agree with you there, Stan. There are other decent coaches out there. We talked about. I've got a possible fancy for Rafa Benitez, and he will be available from the Chinese league. The Chinese league is ending on December 5th. Tanner will be over there. Possibly something may happen while you're over there, Tanner.
Yeah, it might actually be kind of neat to see, just actually be there in the thick of it if something does actually happen.
And obviously, you have a huge following over there. People will be tapping on your shoulder as well.
Yeah, I hope so. I want to be one of those guys that's easily accessible. I like to talk. I love the sound of my own voice, and I'm certainly not opposed to an adult beverage or 2 or 10. So yeah, we'll talk more before I go over. But yeah, if you're watching this, if you happen to see me over there, by all means, don't be shy. Come up, say hi.
Hey, if you do see Kevin over there, tell him there's a little channel over here who would like to speak to him.
Oh, absolutely. That's I promise you that. If I see him, he's gonna get more than a shake of the hand and an introduction.
Amazing, amazing. So give Tanner a follow on YouTube. You want to tell the folks about your YouTube channel, your endeavor?
I believe if you just go on YouTube, search Bearded Gooner, it should come right up. I've tried to look at the URL, and it's not youtube.com/Bearded Gooner. It's something goofy, and I don't know why that is. But
yeah,
if you just go to YouTube, search Bearded Gooner, I should be the first thing that comes up.
you'll find them. You're also on Twitter, Tanner.
Yep.
You want to get to a certain amount of followers again?
Trying to hit 1,000 followers by the time I land in London on December 5th.
So give Tanner a follow on Twitter. Thanks for joining me tonight, Tanner.
Of course, always.
And, of course, I will come on your channel if and when time permits. And
appreciate it.
Yeah, let's do it. Interesting times ahead. I think the coaching merry-go-round has started.
Yeah.
There's a couple of other EPL teams that will be looking for a coach, and probably ourselves if Unai Emery doesn't fix up starting Saturday. Confidence level on Saturday, finally. It's it in your face.
Scale of 1 to 10.
5.
Yeah, probably about that. I'm
right in the middle.
I'm right in the middle, man. It's we're either gonna get all 3. I don't think we lose. I think we get 1.
Yeah.
But
that's not good enough.
Not confident in winning the match.
Yeah, if we take it, like I said, in blocks of 5, we need to pick up 3 wins, a draw, and maybe a loss somewhere in those 5 games.
If we could, go ahead.
I don't even want to talk about the next 5 games after these first 5 games. You want to hear them quickly?
I think I can guess them, actually.
Yeah, go for it.
After City, I believe it's Everton.
Yep.
Chelsea. Everton, Chelsea.
Bournemouth away.
No,
2 away games. Everton, Bournemouth.
Everton, Bournemouth, Chelsea,
and 2 home games. Chelsea and Man United.
Yeah, and then
I don't have anything after that.
Okay.
I'll believe whatever you tell me. I'll believe you.
Chelsea's right around the bend.
I was just going to say that Chelsea game is going to be very important too.
We go Chelsea, Manchester United. There might be one more in there, and then I think Chelsea again. We play them like I think we get them
quick
twice in the span of a month.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen, we'll leave it there, Tanner. Thanks. Listen, if you've enjoyed the content here, give the channel a subscribe, hit the like button. Really would appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. And once again, wanted to give a shout out to William from Tampa. Top man. He came up and tapped me on the shoulder, asked me if we should sack Unai Emery. I think that time is coming close if he doesn't fix up. Once again, check out Tanner on YouTube. Give him a follow. Bearded Gooner, and also help him out on Twitter. He's trying to hit those followers. Until next time, we shall talk. We're out of here.
See you out there.
Thanks, BG.
Always a pleasure.